Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And we have a lot of ground to cover tonight. The request a couple of weeks ago was for a dish that would use up dried chilies in your kitchen. So anyway, a mole is obviously the easiest way to do that, but not the easiest dish to make. And I just didn't have time to do it last week. So we did the tacos with we did use dried chilies for the hot sauce, which worked out amazing, but I had enough time this week, so we are doing a red chicken mole, which is delicious. This is kind of, so moles are more traditionally, it's like sort of a festive dish, maybe a holiday kind of dish, a special dish anyway. And I normally do like a big one with a huge turkey, and it also has a lot of ingredients. This one has a lot of ingredients, but that one has a lot of ingredients. So this is kind of starter mole, I guess. It's relatively easy to put together. You will have most of the ingredients you need, and the ones that you don't have on hand are pretty easy to find. So we're going to go over the ingredients in a sec. But first of all, we're going to do a cocktail tonight, and since we're doing Mexican tonight, we are going to do, well, we're going to try a spicy mezcal old-fashioned. I was working with chilies anyway, so and I haven't given my brother Pete back his bottle of mezcal yet, so it was all the stars aligned for this drink tonight. So I'm just going to switch up here. There we go. Okay, so this is a jug drink. Mix it in a jug. It's very straightforward. The only ingredient you may not have on hand is this one. So this is a simple syrup, but I have steeped some pasilla chilies in it to give it a little bit of kick, because I think that'll be fun. So, and I'm going to use orange bitters. I've actually grown quite attached to these orange bitters now. I use these in my regular old fashions all the time, but use whatever bitters you have. I think it suits the theme. This drink is very straightforward, so it's just well, it's like any old fashioned. We've talked about old fashions before. This is 2 ounces of mezcal. And then, depending how sweet you like your old fashions, you can go anywhere between sort of 1/4 to half an ounce of simple syrup. I'm going to go with half an ounce on this one, just because I want to see how spicy it is with the simple syrup, the spiced simple syrup. And of course, it wouldn't be an old fashioned without bitters. And since I don't have a bar spoon, I'm going to use my kitchen tweezers to stir this up. I'm going to talk about the kitchen tweezers in a sec too. Oh yeah, and we also have a cool thing tonight. So, looking forward to showing you guys that. Although it has nothing to do with cooking, but I think it's cool, so I'm going to show it to you guys. Anyway, 10 seconds for the stir. We all know that by now that's your point of diminishing returns for both chilling the drink and diluting it to the proper strength. I figure that's about 10 seconds. I'm going to serve this in a standard highball glass. These ones, of course, were the ones from Lucifer, the show. Well, I mean, they used them on the show. I don't know if they were created for the show. And there we go. Pretty straightforward drink. Doesn't need a garnish, I don't feel. And there you go, guys. Cheers. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh, that's delicious. It's not very spicy. Okay, no, it's a little spicy. You can definitely taste the chili. It has a nice little kick to it. It tastes very much like an old-fashioned cocktail. You can definitely taste the mezcal. I don't remember the other old-fashioned we did the other week, or the other cocktail where you couldn't even tell what spirit was in it. But this is definitely mezcal. I'm going to drink this slow. It's a lot of strong drink. Okay, cheers, guys. Let's get this show on the road. So the cool thing is this. So this just came today. I haven't had a chance to use it. This is for stream. And I've never done an unboxing before, ever on stream, because normally we do cooking stuff, and what would I unbox? But I thought it'd be funny to do an unboxing for you. And I feel like doing it. I don't feel that you're a proper YouTuber unless you have done an unboxing. So we're gonna do that. This, if you're wondering what this is, I mean, Spencer is probably not wondering what it is, but this is a Rode NT5 compact cardioid mic, and I've decided to upgrade the sound quality of the stream. I have a Rode mic up there on the camera, which you can't see. It's okay. But it's a shotgun mic, which are problematic indoors for a whole bunch of really technical reasons I'm not going to explain. But this is just a better quality mic, and let's have a look at it. So anyway, the other cool thing is everybody should have a knife they can open with one hand. Really important. This is my other cool thing. I've had this thing for ages, and I love it. Okay. What we got in here? We got the windsock. We have the mic stand mount thing. Got a kind of a fancy leather pouch thing. Stickers which I will never use. I love Rode. I don't know. Odd. I don't know who thinks buys these that they would want a sticker. Anyway, it does come with a 10-year warranty, which is in here, but I'm sure I can register digitally. 10 years seems pretty good, actually. And it's tiny. So there you go, guys. You guys don't know what a hypercardioid mic is, but that doesn't matter. I think this is cool. This will go up on the camera. There you go. Not a cooking cool thing at all, but fun for me. So that's for next week. I still have to buy an audio interface for it. We'll ask around on which one to get. Kind of decided, but opinions are welcome too. Okay, that's the cool thing. Sorry for geeking out. Let's talk about some ingredients and get this going. Any questions so far? Probably not. A simple cocktail, a thing that nobody cares about except me probably. That's okay. Okay, so moles have a lot of ingredients, and we've talked to before about setting up your kitchen, your mise for cooking, and I know this looks very YouTube-ish, but I typically cook like this all the time. Have my ingredients ready to go. It makes it a lot easier. And actually, you know what? Before we talk about ingredients, I kind of want to talk about something about cooking. We're gonna do a little philosophical thing, I guess, because I watch a lot of cooking content on YouTube because, well, I find it interesting and I'd like to see what other people are doing. It's for inspiration, gives me ideas and stuff. But one thing I saw yesterday was, and I didn't click on it because the title horrified me, but it was steak tacos, faster than a restaurant, but faster, which actually doesn't make any sense. Obviously clickbaity. And I was thinking, why would you want to do that? We talked about this a little bit before, and reasons why people cook, and cooking at home versus cooking at a restaurant. I've done both. And guys, you have such an enormous advantage. You don't work in a restaurant. You're incredibly privileged to be able to cook at your own pace and enjoy it with no pressure. And I know that there's this emphasis these days on getting something on the table fast, especially during the week when everybody's busy. Maybe one of the benefits of working from home is you don't have to do that as much. But I was starting to think about the reasons why I cook. And we talked about this a little bit before. People ask me what my favorite thing to cook is. And it's usually whatever I'm cooking for the person that is with me at the time. And that really hit home over the last couple of days because Serena flew down to Quebec City to see Halsey, which was apparently an amazing show. And Lights, her favorite artist, opened for Halsey. So it was a double whammy. She had to go. I did not go. It's a long drive, and it was easier for her to fly. So I had 2 days of my own to cook and eat and stuff. And I discovered that, like, maintenance cooking, and one of the reasons I cook is it isn't that much fun. I didn't do that much cooking. I made a couple of burgers, but mostly I snacked. I mean, I ate some nice cheese and some crackers and stuff, but I didn't really cook. And I was trying to figure out why that was. And I do cook for myself, and I do enjoy it, but the last couple of days just wasn't feeling it. And I sort of realized that I really like, and ties into doing everything fast. Don't do everything fast. When you cook at night or whenever you cook, grab the people that are important to you and sit them around you and cook them something and take your time and talk to them. those are the times that I enjoy cooking the most, whether it's cooking for Serena here at home, or cooking on a date night with Rebecca or Penny or Sabrina or all the people that are important to me. That's when I have fun. And I admit maybe it's a little bit selfish to cook for somebody and make them sit there or whatever, but the people that I know seem to enjoy it. So for me, that's kind of, I don't know, a happy place, and really one of the reasons I cook. I mean, I like to eat and all that stuff too, but the process is also really important, and to race through the process, to make steak tacos faster than a restaurant, but even faster, which still doesn't make sense, also doesn't make sense. So anyway, that's my spiel for the week. But let's get on with the ingredients again. Okay, so I actually have a list. I haven't made a mole in a long time, and I actually made a prep list, which is kind of another tip I have for you guys, and I still do this occasionally. If I'm not making something that I've made a million times before, I normally have it on the wall over here in the kitchen, I do a prep list, and I jot down like the order of things that I need to do, because I can't remember everything. And so we have a long prep list, and we're going to talk about the different ingredients, and I'll show you how they go together in a sec, but let me just sort of go from right to left, or left to right, depending on how you guys are seeing this on the screen. Let's start in the middle, actually. I know I said right to left, changed my mind. So your basic ingredients for the sauce, I have roasted tomatoes here, which I roasted earlier. I had to do some of this stuff in advance, and I wanted to say that roasting tomatoes is a fantastic way to prepare this ingredient. It really punches up the umami flavor of a tomato, and I just highly recommend it. If you have the time, even just pop it under the broiler for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I have tomatillos here on the other side. Now, these are fresh tomatillos because I live near a Mexican grocer. A tomatillo looks like this. It's got the little papery wrapping, and you got to peel them. You guys know how these go. And then they need to simmer until they look like this, until they're soft. Now, if you don't have a Mexican grocer near you, tomatillos are actually kind of hard to find. There is nothing wrong with using canned. In fact, I believe I used canned last time because I didn't have time. Okay, now, another thing I did in advance when everybody was out of the house, which is important. If you were around for last week, you remembered me pepper spraying the entire apartment. And these chilies aren't nearly as hot. So I have a mix here of anchos, pasilla, morritos, mulattos, and some guajillos. Kind of what I had kicking around. If it's your first mole, an even mix of sort of anchos and, well, not even actually, 2 parts anchos to 1 part mulattos or morritos would be great. Throw in 1 pasilla because it's a nice flavor. But basically, I mean, don't use a hot chili like an arbol chili. But essentially any of the chilies that you can lay your hands on, whatever come in little plastic bags, and whatever markets near you are going to be fine. These chilies were prepared by frying them in lard, and then in small batches, and then they go in a bowl. You pour hot water over them, boiling water actually, and let them reconstitute over about the course of an hour. Now I did all that in advance because, well, it takes an hour, first of all. Second of all, I thought doing a non-hot chili wouldn't pepper spray the apartment, and I was wrong. So I've had the windows open all day. Okay, so we have that. Moles consist of some like nuts and seeds and thickening agents, and then the sauce, and then the chilies. So for thickening, we are using a corn tortilla, which I had kicking around, and you can use a slice of bread. I happen to have as I said, I was making burgers, so I've got like a little bit of a hamburger bun. It's a good question, Rebecca. There's 2 ways to toast chilies. You can toast them in a dry pan, or you can toast them in fat, or fry them in fat. You'll see as we get going, pretty much everything in a mole is fried in lard. So it's a slightly different technique, and the results are different too. The chilies take on, of course, some of the fat flavor. They crisp up slightly differently. If you're doing a hot sauce or a salsa, I normally do them in a dry pan, but for this, you want to do them in lard. So, this is a stale hamburger bun, perfect for thickening agent. For our nuts, we're going to use peanuts tonight. You can use almonds too. That would be fine. Make it your own. You could use any nut you want, but peanuts and almonds are kind of the standard. I've got some raisins. There's no real substitute for raisins. Use raisins. I got a little bit of onion, some garlic, and then for spices, in this little bowl here, I have 8 peppercorns. I'm using. This is definitely a cheat night dish. Yeah, this is not a low-fat dish by any stretch of the imagination. I've got 8 peppercorns in here, a little piece of cinnamon, and 3 cloves. And if you don't have these whole spices, you can, of course, use ground. It's fine. Ground cloves are very strong. So, like, I have 3 cloves here, but if you were going to use ground cloves for this entire dish, you might want like 1/8 of a teaspoon or something. Cinnamon, maybe like half a teaspoon. The ingredient you may not have on hand is Mexican chocolate. This is from Oaxaca, and it looks like this when you get it out of at the store. Not the easiest thing to find if you don't have a Mexican grocer closer to you. You can substitute like a really, really high percentage, like dark chocolate, like 85% cocoa chocolate. But I happen to have the real thing, so good. I got some toasted sesame seeds here. I toasted these a long time ago. I have a huge bowl of toasted sesame seeds because I use them a fair bit. If you don't have toasted sesame seeds, toast them, and there you go. Chilies. I think that's covered. Oh, the chicken's behind me. I'll show you guys that in a sec. We're gonna do a little technique. I'll show you guys how to quarter a chicken. We haven't done that yet. And there we go. Hang on. Okay. Any questions so far? I think we're actually ready to sort of start putting this together. It is important when you do this to have your ingredients laid out. This actually takes no time to do it this way and is way easier. So I got a bowl here. First things that go into the bowl are my tomatoes and my tomatillos. By the way, you could use canned tomatoes here too, and canned tomatillos. No problem with that at all. What else goes in this bowl? The chocolate goes in the bowl, so the chocolate needs to be chopped up. Let's do that. This is 3/4 of an ounce of chocolate. And I'm scaling this to 1 chicken, which would serve four people. Now all of this goes in a blender, so you don't have to go super crazy with like chopping up the chocolate, but give the blender a head start. Can't hurt. So that goes in. What else do we need here? We need a little bit of oregano. I really think so. This is Mexican oregano, which is not that different from regular oregano, but definitely you want fresh oregano for this. Don't whatever you have in your drawer that's been there for a while. Don't use that. Get some fresh oregano. I'm gonna go with probably just half a teaspoon actually. Maybe a heaping half teaspoon. Okay, and then the other spices, of course, we gotta grind up. If you don't have them ground, so grab your mortar and pestle. I got this one on Amazon for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. And use whatever your favorite peppercorn is. The chocolate is extremely brittle. Just see the way it crumbles like chalk. Sorry, for those of you who are watching after the fact and don't have the chat up, Rebecca was asking if the chocolate was really brittle, and it is. Okay, get a good grind on these. I'm using, of course, the Campot peppercorns, which I'm really fond of. Add to the bowl. We'll be adding a lot of things to this bowl. But you can use whatever peppercorns happen to be your favorite. Telecherries are really nice. Even the straight up ones from Vietnam are great. Okay, what else goes in the bowl? The cinnamon cloves are in. Okay, so now we get to frying. So that is your sauce. base, your mole base. We got a little bit of frying to do. Get this hot and oh, bitter, not brittle. Yes, Rebecca, it is very, very bitter. It's straight up like a cocoa product. There's no sweetening in it at all. Sorry, I'm trying to read the screen from far away, and I don't have. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so. Okay, so you want a good. So we're actually going to cook in a fair amount of lard, but we're going to be picking the ingredients out with a. I'm going to use a spider, like a skimmer, so they don't. That not all this lard is going in the dish. Yeah, that's pretty hot. We're just going to give that a second to warm up, and then in go the peanuts. Okay, I can't hear it anymore. So peanuts first. There we go. So peanuts, 4 minutes, give or take. That'll take us to 725. And you can't, I mean, don't burn these ingredients. But you can go quite dark. You can go quite dark on the ingredients. So you'll see, like, we want everything to take on a lot of color. This is a dish of really, really deep flavors. I'm really digging this mezcal thing, by the way. Too high. All right, Serena is out tonight, which is good. She actually doesn't like mole, so this is a perfect dish to be doing for tonight. By the way, we are going to be TV timing this dish tonight, obviously, because this has to. You have to fry the sauce for about 45 minutes, and then the chicken takes about another half hour after that. So I'm not going to make you guys stick around for that. I do have one that I made earlier, and it is sitting warm in the oven. I have not tasted it yet. I decided I would wait, and we will do the taste test together. It smelled amazing. Okay, I'm not getting the color I want on these already. Oh, there we go. Okay. Getting a little better. I will say that this looks complicated, but once you're set up, it really didn't take that long to put the whole thing together. So, and as I said before, shouldn't be in that much of a hurry. Right? Take it easy. Have a beer. Enjoy your, grab somebody to sit at the counter with you, keep you company while you cook. Nothing better. All right, we're gonna wait, what did I say, 7:25? We got 2 more minutes on that. Then we get moving on. Kitchen tweezers. I was gonna talk about these. I'm gonna talk about these for a couple of minutes. I bought these, well, I bought these mainly because I saw a professional chef using them to twirl pasta on a cooking channel in Italy. And I thought it was cool. But I had these things have been so unbelievably useful for so many things because, again, because you cook in a home kitchen, guys, you often don't need like a massive set of tongs. You're not like moving big pieces of food around, and these are actually incredibly handy to have on hand for a whole bunch of things. So I'm really, really starting to enjoy these. Okay, these are actually, I think, ready. So I don't know, you guys can see the color. We got some nice dark color on our peanuts here. Almonds would look the same. When they go into the bowl. Oh, okay, one went on the counter. but most of them go in the bowl. Okay. Wow, they are hot. Yeah, you hear them sizzling in there? Okay, so see? Kitchen tweezer. I'm not going to pick that up with my bare hands. Okay, so next is raisins. Raisins are fun. They only take a minute, and we are just going to move them around until they get them coated, and then they just kind of balloon up over the course of about a minute. And they go in the pan too. I don't really need to time these. You can tell when raisins are done. You'll see what I mean. They just kind of puff up. You can see them going already. You can see I don't know if you guys can see, but getting a little puffier, a little rounder. So okay, so raisins actually go lighter, not darker. They're the exception to the dark rule. And almost there. And yeah, see how they've all puffed up, they're a little swollen. That is perfect. Into the pan, or into the bowl rather. Okay, so there we go. Now, onions and garlic, and I'm gonna speed this up a bit. We do want this to go dark, okay? And the garlic too. This isn't one of those, I'm gonna split that guy. This isn't a dish where you throw in the garlic and cook it till it's fragrant. We are gonna go like dark brown on our garlic. I don't know actually. Like I'm using sultana raisins because that's what I put my hands on in the store. But I think any kind of raisin would be fine. Okay, so this needs to go, well, until it's dark, but we're gonna ramp this up a little bit here. Just gonna add a little bit of lard here. Any other questions? Has anybody had mole before? Anybody even tried this? I sound suddenly far away. Is that because I stepped back from the mic? The mic is very directional, so if I step back, it may pick up as much. You can do a sound check. How's that? Better? Somebody let me know if the mic's better. How long the chat delay is on this. It seems to be getting seems to be getting worse and worse. Like originally I thought the chat delay was like 4 or 5 seconds, but it seems like it's much longer. Okay, let's do an experiment here. If you don't mind, Rebecca, since you're obviously paying attention, I'm gonna clap my hands in front of the thing, and then I want you to type in the chat when you see the clap, okay? So I'll give you a head start. So I'm gonna clap my hands, and then as soon as I clap, just type something in the chat, a letter or something, okay? So here we go, here's the test. Oh wow, okay, so that wasn't too bad. So it is only a couple seconds. Okay. I thought it was like 25 or 30 seconds, but that's not bad at all. Not quite as fast as Twitch, but still pretty solid. Okay, so I'm kind of dark to the point where I want to be for the onions, so let's keep moving. Again, into the bowl, add to the bowl. That was my mantra today, was just add to the bowl. Everything goes in the bowl, which is kind of nice because it makes it less complicated, right? Okay, so now take your tortilla and in it goes. Come on. That makes sense. See, I do most of, like for work, I do most of my typing and chatting without thinking, so I think I'm faster at it. It's tortilla bread just acts as a thickener for the sauce, Rebecca. So I actually got called out at work. Well, not called out. I had my semi-annual, biannual, mid-annual, half-year, mid-year review. And then one of the repeated issues I've always had at work is I'm too concise and brief in emails, especially responding. Which makes perfect sense because one of the things I learned a long time ago, and which every kid learns, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But apparently if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm supposed to make up some nice things to say and put them in my email. So, slowly learning these corporate tips, corporate speak. Anyway, we just kind of want this up till it's like a little bit crispy here. We're almost done. Okay, I think that guy's good. Add to the bowl. Look, I'm loving these tongs, eh? So this guy goes in. This just sort of cups it. We're gonna brown the bun on both sides and into the bowl. This is actually going pretty quick tonight. I thought the mole was going to be, you know, like super complicated, but I was pleasantly surprised that like once you get everything organized, it actually goes pretty quick. Not quite. Just want a little more color on this bread, and then we're good to go. Yeah, that's good. Okay, great. Let me get this. Do I still need that? I might still need that actually. Might still need that too. Okay, so now we have everything prepared. But the toasted sesame seeds. If they're toast them, put them in with they go add to the bowl. Remember? Okay. Now, what is next? The blender. Now everything goes through the blender. We're gonna blend two things, and we're gonna keep them separate for now. And you'll see why when we get to frying the sauce. But the first thing that gets added to the blender is all of this stuff. Make it easier for me. You might want to, ooh, that's hot. Rip up the tortilla a little bit. That's really hot now. But all your ingredients go straight into the blender. I'm gonna need this bowl in a sec. And to help the blending process along, we're gonna add a cup of chicken broth, which is here. So I'm trying this out, guys. I've never tried this before. I normally use the Better Than Bouillon. Well, I normally use fresh stock, but I'm out. This is the Farm Boy brand, low sodium chicken broth, and we want 1 cup. I don't imagine in a dish as flavorful as this that we'll even be able to tell. Still, can't hurt, right? Okay, now let's take advantage of the shotgun knife. I'm gonna move the blender off to the side so I'll kill you guys with the sound. Trust me, it's on. We're gonna talk about what consistency to take this to in just a sec. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so that looks good. One of the reasons you want to like really let that sit in the blender for a fair bit is because we're going to put it through. Hang on. We're going to put it through a sieve to take the solids that we don't want out. And if you don't let it go in the blender for a fair amount of time and get it pretty smooth, you can end up leaving a lot of your flavor behind in the blender. Not the blender, the sieve, Rob, the sieve. Okay. One of the nice things about doing a lot of different cooking cuisines around the world as opposed to like standard kind of white people stuff is that your blender takes on an amazing rainbow of colors because especially Mexican, it seems like a lot of things in Mexican cooking have permanently stained my blender an interesting shade of reddish orange between achiote and peppers and this. So basically you just want to like stir this through. If you move it around, it will gradually go to the strainer. And then you get to the point where you're kind of at a paste level. Just push it through. You can do this, like I just have, this is just a regular old strainer. You could do this with a tamise if you had one of those. A chinoise, although I don't think you're supposed to say that anymore. But like a conical strainer is way less problematic, I guess. But you do really want to extract. And you can see we're leaving a lot of solids here behind, which is fine. You really want to get as much out of it as you can. And I kind of feel like it's probably all we're going to get. So then the other trick is to clean the solids off your spatula and just pick up the outside. A lot of it, well, you'll see when we do the chilies, a lot of it hangs on the outside of the strainer. Okay. So that is part of our mole sauce. I think mole sauce is actually redundant because it's basically just sauce. But this is part of our mole. Okay. Any questions on that part? I'm gonna have to turn my back on you guys for just a quick sec, and I gotta wash the blender and the strainer. Okay, we got our blender back and strainer. Okay. Now we're going to do that again and strain it into something else like this. So now we do the chili. We're going to do exactly the same thing with the chilies. So I used a cup of, so all told, there's going to be about 4 cups of broth in the sauce. And I used 1 cup to like give the right consistency to the, I don't need this anymore. To give the right consistency to this base, and then I need about another half a cup for this. So there we go. There's our chilies are in, and the broth went here. I figure about half a cup. And again, you can't really get this wrong because even after this part is done, we're gonna add another 2 cups to the sauce after we fry it. You don't want this, okay, so you don't want it too thin because what we're gonna do, you'll see, is we're gonna fry up. We're actually gonna fry the sauce in lard. So you don't want it like super thin, but you do want it, I mean, thin enough to go through the strainer. You'll see. Okay, sorry about the noise, guys. I can actually like Maybe I'll just kill the mic for a sec. I got a way to do that. I'm back. Should have thought of that the first time. And I'm thinking the consistency here looks good. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. I was worried it was a little thick, but it seems like it's okay. So, same process, guys. Smaller bowl, because there's less sauce. This is a little thicker. Get all our good stuff out here. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. I'm just filling up the blender to make it easier to clean later. Okay, so again, this is the same. Do I have? Yes, Rebecca, I do. It's Rick Bayless. I think first of all, he's a fantastic chef. He's been around since the beginning of time. He is an incredible advocate of Mexican cooking. I've never met him, obviously. He seems like a genuinely nice guy. He's kind of like, half the time I want to call him the Julia Child of Mexican cooking because of how passionate he is about Mexican cooking. But the other half of the time I want to call him like the Bob Ross of Mexican cooking. He just seems like a decent, gentle person. He's definitely not like the Gordon Ramsay kind of scream at well, I don't know. I mean, I've never worked with him or whatever. So everything, take it with a grain of salt. But I have a pretty good sense of people, even if it is just online. And he seems like a decent dude. He's very knowledgeable. And he just seems happy to share that knowledge with people. So I've had his, I don't have it here, pre-internet, I have his book, Authentic Mexican at Home or Mexican at Home or something. So he has a million books and some of them are not sensationalist, but they sort of hit the high points of Mexican cooking. The popular things that everybody knows. But his Authentic Mexican at Home book. Now here's what I'm talking about, guys. I don't know if you can see the underside of this strainer, but there's so much stuff on the outside of it that you need to like shave it off with your spatula. This doesn't happen with the first part of the broth because it's a little thinner, but you don't want to lose any of that, even though I am losing it to my counter here. Okay. So sorry, Rebecca. Did I answer that? Was that a good enough answer for Rick Bayless and Mexican cooking? My favorite chefs for different cuisines are like I love Rick Bayless for Mexican. I think that Marcella Hazan is brilliant for Italian. I mean, she is the Julia Child of Italian cooking, or Julia Child's the Marcella Hazan of French cooking. I don't know who was first. I suspect Julia was. But passionate people with a love for the craft. You can't really go wrong. Okay, so we have our two sauce bases here. Look at the amazing colors we have. It's time to fry them up. So let's get that going. And I think I'm gonna fry them in the little pan again. Am I? Sorry guys, I'm thinking, because the pan I used to fry this up earlier has the other mole in it. Let's go with this. This one will be fine. Whoa! Of course, that's really hot. So, always guys, like, and I actually did this, you guys can't see, but so normally, when you put a hot pan away that's not clearly hot, like this is just sitting on the stove, is I'll put a towel on the handle to remind me the pan's hot. But then at subsequent adventures, I took the towel off and used it to wipe stuff up and forgot it was hot. So there you go. I don't know if that's a tip or a cautionary tale, a fable. No, it's not long enough to be a fable, but anyway, you get the picture. So here we are going to start by frying up the chili mixture first for a few minutes, and then we are going to add the rest of the mix, and then we're going to add some broth, and it's going to go on the stove, and we're going to switch to the TV time mole, the Back to the Future mole. So you don't want your mole to be greasy, and I can tell already. I love lard, but I've got too much in this pan here, so I'm just going to like tip a bit of it out. You just kind of want a coating on the bottom. I will say, like, from a cooking point of view and a cleanup point of view and an efficiency point of view, this is a dish that's pretty kind on your kitchen. If you don't have if you have a dishwasher, you don't care. And kudos to you for having a dishwasher, but I don't. So that's one of the reasons I'm always talking about cleaning as you go, etc., etc. But this dish doesn't actually use up like that many dishes. Like, honestly, like I remember some of the simpler things I've made on stream, or what seemed like simple things, like some of the Italian dishes. Then I turn around at the, I want 7:53. I turn around at the end of the stream after I've signed off and look at the kitchen and I'm like, what the hell happened here? Okay, so we're gonna, as I said, we're just frying this up in lard. We're gonna darken it down, give it a little bit of color, although could it get any darker? We're gonna find out. It smells incredible. It just smells fantastic. And then basically, once we're done this part, I'm just going to tell you guys how to finish the dish because we don't have time. I'm going to have to put this in another pot. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to prepare the base. And then I'll show you guys how to do it. I'll just have to find another pot. Maybe we can just kind of move on. What time is it? 7:49. Okay, we're getting a little bit late. I'll show you guys how to do this. Maybe I'll just take it to the fry stage. I can even do two things at once. Look at me go. Okay, I'll put this there, I guess. Oh, there, so you guys can see. So this is just going to cook for maybe another 3 minutes. And then we're going to start cooking the, we're going to add the other part of the sauce, mole, to it. Oh, I wanted to show you guys how to take apart the chicken. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, great. I have a plan. I'm going to, I totally forgot. So, interesting. So I forgot chicken was going in this. But that brings up kind of an interesting point about moles, is that this is technically a chicken mole, but the sauce part, that is the dish. of course it matters what protein you put in, but it's secondary to the sauce. Now mole is about the mole, the particular protein or vegetables or whatever you have in your mole, whether it's turkey, chicken, all kinds of different ones. Of course, the signature, the reason for existence is this sauce. Okay, we're gonna let that go like maybe 2 more minutes, and then another technique thing. I want to show you guys how to do take apart a chicken into quarters. I know we've done an 8-piece cut, we've done a 10-piece cut, which is fine, but the 4-piece cut is kind of neat too. This is actually almost ready. Okay, so I'm actually going to add this now because this is ready. I can tell this one's cooking a little bit faster. Maybe I have the heat up a little bit more. And then we just stir this all in. Guys, it smells incredible. Do you want to get this mixed up? Give it a good stir. Okay, that is ready to go. I'm just going to leave this, yeah, it's fine. Okay, a little bit high there, but we do want to, so we're not just simmering this, guys. We're trying to put some color and put some heat into it. But that can now sit for a few minutes. Let's get on to the chicken. Cutting board, boning knife. If you guys don't have a boning knife, this is easily done with a chef's knife as well, so don't sweat it too much. My nice organic chicken from Farm Boy, which chickens are getting expensive, guys. This was 20 bucks. Gotta love inflation, eh? So, to take a chicken apart in quarters, that's up too high. Give me a sec. We're gonna take the dark meat off first, the leg and the drum. Really easy to do. And you can kind of just like pick the chicken up by the leg here. Just zip the knife through. Find a little joint there. And it just pops off. I'm gonna grab a sheet pan to put these guys in temporarily. So there you go, 1/4 off. And just cut around. Once you get the hang of this, this is really easy to do. Where's my joint there? Ooh. 2nd quarter. Now this is the fun part. This is what I wanted to show you because that's pretty much the same as what we did before. We're going to cut this into a supreme, which is the breast and the wing left attached. It's kind of an elegant cut. I like it. I used to cut the wings off and save them for like doing chicken wings, but it was just kind of a waste. So I really like the look of this. I love if you cook or roast a breast, leaving the wing attached. It looks good. It's fun. I do take the tips off while it's still on the bird. These are amazing dog treats, but you can't eat them. So I mean, dogs can eat them, but I can't. Just take those away. Okay, so now just give it a little separation here. So normally when I do a chicken, I would have this turned the other way. But I found that for doing, take the wishbone out there, for doing the supreme, it's easier to cut down towards the wing, and this just comes apart. And there you go, and you just leave a little wing attached, and you have a nice, beautiful piece of chicken. Yes, Rebecca, we'll talk about the cooking times in a second, but the short answer is yes. So for this dish, once the sauce is simmered, that's almost done. Once this sauce has the broth, so we're gonna add some broth to this. It simmers for about 45 minutes. And then you drop your chicken in, but you would drop the dark meat in for 10 minutes. You give the dark meat a 10-minute head start. So put the dark meat in for 10, then you add the breasts, and you let them go for another 14 minutes, or until they're cooked. I've had good luck with 10 and 14. Your mileage may vary. Of course, you can check that with a instant read thermometer or whatever. Doesn't want to go. There we go. And again, we're just going to take this down. Oop. Save the bone. There we go. One more supreme. So there you go. I'm going to save this. Give me a sec. Actually, you know what? I'll do that later. Put that away. That away. Okay. So what I'm probably not going to do tonight, so now that I have this beautiful chicken cut, in order to prepare it for the sauce, is I would brown it. So I'd put it in a pan, again, with more lard. Well, maybe I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys. So this is ready to go. This sauce here. So you can either do this in a pan big enough to hold everything, or transfer it, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm just going to pop it into this pot here. I don't have an endless supply of pots, so so there's our incredibly thick, wonderful sauce. Here. Okay. So can you guys see, look how incredible, look at the color of this. Look how incredibly wonderfully rich that looks. So to this, we're gonna add about 2 cups of broth. I'll tell you, I'm gonna be eating, maybe, oh, I'm just gonna use it all. There you go. Saves me, the one thing I don't like about these Tetra Paks is if you don't use the whole thing, what do you do with it? I end up with a freezer full of like 1/3 full Tetra Paks. But let's just get this in. Give it a little stir. So this looks quite thin now. This will thicken up quite a bit. It not quite back to the consistency of the unbrothed sauce, but it will get quite thick. So then that goes on a burner. Oh, I had this out to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna bring that back to a boil. And there you go. Okay, now though, let me show you the chicken real quick. There we go. Hey, Sabrina. So again, good helping of lard. Yes, I know. And I gotta say, the more Mexican cooking I do these days, and I've been doing a fair bit because we've done it 3 weeks in a row, is Mexican cooking loves cast iron. It's just, everything I seem to do is just seems to be perfect with cast iron. Okay, I'm gonna leave that on actually. So I know this seems like a really involved dish and there's a lot of moving parts, and I know we've gone through a lot tonight, but I will say that getting things ready today, like when I did the first one, and we're gonna get it out and taste it in just a second, it wasn't that bad. I had everything prepared, everything went pretty much the way you see it here, and it worked out great. So don't let the long list, I know it looks like a long list of ingredients, and I know people kind of freak out, especially when it's a bunch of ingredients that you have to shop for. Now, granted, most of these you're gonna have around, which is great, There we go. So all we're looking here is we're going to put these in for about, I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. And all we're doing is crisping up the skin here. Give it a little bit of flavor. So this will cook in the mole sauce. I'm going to be eating mole for days, I know it. Which is fine, love it. Too hot. Okay, so this is going to go till 8:04. Then we're going to do the taste test. So granted, this was, and again, you know, we've been at this for an hour, which isn't too bad. I did make the drink. We did a little philosophizing. But I don't feel like this takes a lot of time. Absolutely, Sabrina, you can. It freezes beautifully. You can absolutely freeze it. You could make up a big batch of mole sauce and just, especially if you're not cooking for, well, today I've cooked for 8 somehow. But if you're cooking for 2, you could, this is the kind of thing you could put in, like, freeze it in an ice cube tray or something. And you just have mole blocks. Actually, that won't work. So the thing with the mole is you cook the chicken in it. So you either have to have a small pan, like you have to have enough mole to cook. Oh, I don't know now. Let me think about that. Okay, here's what I would do. Don't thin it with the broth. Cook your mole just all the way up until where I added the broth, and then freeze the concentrate. And then when you want to pull it out of the freezer, just remember that you have to basically, it's like, at that point it would be 1 part mole for 1 part broth, and then you could make it up. I feel like this is spattering grease all over me here. Almost there. You guys, this needs 2 more minutes, and then I'll actually get to eat something. I'm hungry. Okay, I want to wait, because I do like good color on these. I was gonna lift them up, but I'm like, no, let's just be patient. And this was actually, by the way, the mezcal old fashioned. Highly recommend it. Not quite. Sometimes you just gotta be patient, I guess, eh? Ooh, look at that. So that's the color I'm looking for. That guy's done. Nice color. No, it's not like a marinade. The chicken cooks in the sauce. You'll see when I get the other stuff out. Okay. All colored up. Love it. Do I have room on my stove? Ooh. Okay. Another pan on the stove. Okay, give me 1 sec, guys. I got a little food prep thing to do here. Trying to decide if I'm going to cook this up tonight. I am, so let me just put this away. Okay. So before I get the other thing out, do you guys have any other questions about how everything went down? So this is the one that's been warming in my oven since before stream. And it looks incredible. So at this point here, you would skim the fat off, which I'm not actually sure I can do. So I'm probably gonna ladle down for the sauce. Let's figure this out. You guys can see okay? Got me a knife and fork. Let's figure out how to take this out. And I kind of want to try, so that's the leg. I don't want to try the I want to try the little supreme part. You know, we went to all the trouble to. Yeah, that's the right piece. Look at the color on this. Okay, I'm happy with the color. Now, I would normally like. You guys, I don't know if you can see. There's quite, and this is normal. There's quite a bit of fat on the top of the sauce, and I'm just going to skim it off. Give this a generous coating. So there you go, guys. I like the consistency of the sauce. I'm not going to run my finger through it because it looks really hot. But if I did, I would expect it to, well, I guess I can use this. So what we want to see here is like a white line separation, and it'll kind of gradually go back together. Oh, a little bit quick. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. Let's go. There we go. I don't want to taste it with this. I want to taste the whole thing at once. I have not tasted this. So here we go. Wow. That's really good. So moles have, there's so many flavors in this dish, but it's amazing that you can almost, you can almost taste, each individual flavor. Like, I can taste the peanuts, and you can taste the raisins, and the chilies are incredible. It's not super spicy. This one probably has a little more kick than a traditional mole. Not traditional, but sorry, a little more kick than the one I normally make, because I was a little short on anchos and I used guajillos, which are a little bit hotter. But it's just wonderful. This makes me feel good, guys. This is a great dish. It just tastes fantastic. I'm into the wing here, so I'm gonna stick. And to be honest, so I'm actually kind of a white meat fan. I do like dark meat, and I know dark meat tastes better. And maybe I should get that out and taste it. One thing, no, it doesn't need it. I was gonna say, one thing I haven't done, because I want to do the taste test with you guys, is that I haven't seasoned it with any salt yet. And I probably will add maybe like half a teaspoon to the whole thing. Not sure it needs it, but it's really good just the way it is. Let's try a little bit. Just give it a little sprinkle. So normally for a dish like this, and of course because this has been reduced, and one of the reasons I didn't season it is because I had it keeping warm in the oven, and I wasn't sure how concentrated it would get. And we talked about that before. When you're reducing something, be very careful with your salt because you can over-reduce it and it'll get very salty. So let's just give this a good mix. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. Wow. I was right. It needed just a little bit of salt. Just brightens everything up just a tad. It was really good before, and now it's just incredible. Okay, I'm gonna stop and talk to you guys, but that's it. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. As always, it's a pleasure. I love doing this for you guys. It's been a great night for me. It's nice to get back and cook. Again, I know it's weird when you don't have somebody to cook for. Maybe that doesn't make a difference for some of you guys, but it makes a difference for me. And I mean, ironically, I made something that Serena doesn't even like. But it's delicious. I highly recommend you try this out. You can find... hang on, Serena. I would recommend right back. I would serve it immediately. So normally when you do this, you would simmer the sauce for 45 minutes, and then you would add your dark meat for 10, breasts for another 14, and I would serve it right away. However, this has been in the oven for an hour, not quite, and it's not dry at all. I was a little concerned that the breast meat would dry. Now, I had the oven low, so the breast didn't overcook. I wouldn't keep this warm in the oven at like 250. I had it in at like just under 200. Well, that's fantastic. Okay, guys. As I said, thank you for joining me. We haven't talked about next week. Does anybody want to throw out anything for next week? I am open to suggestions. There are tons of Mexican things. I mean, obviously, we've only scratched the surface of Mexican cooking because you could do this for 20 years and still only scratch the surface. If you wanted to see another taco thing, I haven't made... there's a really popular taco presentation dish that's chorizo and potato, which is kind of almost like a Mexican roti or something. It's fantastic, but I'm also open to any other suggestions, or I'll just dream something up and we'll do it next week. So I will give you guys a minute or two to think about that, and then I will just make an executive decision. Okay, I know the delay isn't that long, so I am going to call it for tonight. So everybody, again, thank you. I will see you next week. I will think of something to do. I am not going to do a TV time dish next week. I want to do something that I can prepare start to finish on stream. I don't have a problem with a TV time thing, but it does have limitations. I don't want to not do it because it eliminates too many dishes that I want to do. But next week I'm going to do a non-TV time dish. I'm leaning towards something Italian. I will figure it out. So everybody have an amazing week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.